as well as more great music of this caliber. You know, that's Snow Patrol with Run, and doesn't it remind you a little bit of the tune of that, of Everlasting Love? Well, we could...
It's true, but I get that a lot. Almost every single I hear reminds me of something else.
Yeah, it's getting old, I suppose, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, have we had any suggestions for where the afternoon play should go?
Adam's suggestions are raining down, like rain.
Like acid rain.
Already, someone's suggesting that Lent should have the affair with Jenny, then kill Jenny, and take her place because he fancies her husband.
Right.
Jenny chokes on cheese dipper. Sancho should eat the dog. Sancho's, of course, one of Jenny's children. Already, listen, you've seized the initiative, listened closely to the play, and are offering some sensational, dramatic weaves to the story.
I like elements of some of those ideas.
Yeah.
I like the idea of Lench being in love with her husband.
You know what? There'll be new characters as well. It's not just Lench. Like, I'm working on a gay kiss.
Good idea.
Strand for the afternoon play.
Yeah.
It might be a gay kiss that never happens, but just a scene that's really full of homosexual tension between two young...
As a kind of afternoon play community, a bit like Royston Vasey, where you could be plunged into any kind of scene with different characters.
Yes.
So next week might not even be Lench at all, although I'm sure he'll be back. But, you know, you could take us in any kind of direction you wanted.
Keep sending in your suggestions to adamandjoe@xfm.co.uk. The "and" is the word AND, not an ampersand, in case your email gets returned. You can also text 83XFM, or you can, write a letter.
You could write us a letter. Capitol Building, Leicester Square, London.
Now, this week I went to see a preview of The Day After Tomorrow, the sensational new disaster movie from Roland Emmerich, the director of Godzilla, Independence Day, and The Patriot.
Yes, and it's a kind of eco-horror yarn.
It says what is going to happen, or it shows what will happen if we continue living the exploitative, fossil fuel dependent existences that we currently live.
And it's a freezing scenario, is that right?
It's not only freezing, Adam. It is it's a giant hail scenario. At about the 10-minute mark, it's a giant... Well, actually, the opening sequence involves massive crevasses opening up in an ice shelf. That's the first minute. By minute 10...
In a branch of Iceland.
Well, no, but weirdly, that does sort of happen later in the film. Minute 10, giant hailstones of bowling balls hit Tokyo.
And we see people being impacted.
Now, already there's nothing you haven't seen before. Touching the Void does the crevasses, giant hailstones. Dante's Peak does that very effectively in the first 10 minutes with Pierce Brosnan's wife,
Linda Hamilton,
getting her brain replaced.
Oh, that's true.
It's not Linda Hamilton, it's the wife
it's
before
the wife
he
that
thought
dies.
it.
It's shocking.
So, but back to The Day After Tomorrow. So you got the giant hailstones. That's only the beginning. Then you get a swarm of tornadoes destroying Los Angeles.
Right.
Very suddenly.
Not just...
Nope, a whole lot of them.
A gang.
Oh my God! The Hollywood sign is being destroyed by a tornado! Is a line. They care more about the Hollywood sign being sucked up by a tornado than any human life. Rightly so.
Yeah.
And so by minute 20 you've got the swarm of tornadoes. By the 45-minute mark, which is when you expect the FX money shots, you've got a huge tidal swell engulfing New York. And a fantastic bird's eye view of this amazing, what would you describe a massive body of water as? A boob. An amazing boob of water.
Amazing
it's
knocker,
not the right word, but it'll do.
A
knocker of water. Progressing through New York. And they've got the technology now. Did you see the Day of the Dead remake? Not Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead remake.
Haven't seen it.
That's got an amazing top shot of a whole town going mad, and you can see all the little details. A little car whizzing along, smashing into a bus.
Yeah.
You know, it's a bit like one of those children's books that just shows you an amazing gatefold.
Is it like Trumpton?
Yes, it's like Trumpton. Well, this is like what would happen if Trumpton got destroyed by a huge boob of water. And it is amazing. And then you get... so that's the 45-minute mark. At the 1 hour and maybe 10-minute mark, you get an incredibly rapid temperature plunge.
Right.
So much so that people are... in every disaster film, you've got to have your a wall of flame, a boob of water. In this film, frost. They're actually chased by Frost. Not Nick Frost, Jack Frost.
Wow.
Actual frost. Do you think that's possible?
Oh, what, like Frost sort of clambering after them, freezing everything up? That's ridiculous.
Well, you say that and fold your arms, Adam Buxton, but when you're in the cinema, I don't think you'll think it's ridiculous.
The theory being that if it catches up, then he'll be totally frozen.
Yep.
That's so
This is Roland
lame.
Emmerich we're dealing with, director of Godzilla, The Patriot, Independence Day, bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
You're not paying your money for logic.
For The Patriot, that's not a bang, that's surely a wet fart.
Come on, The Patriot's brilliant.
Oh.
What other film has a man taking one of his kids' toy soldiers, melting it down into a bullet, and using it to kill the man who killed his son? You follow?
Yeah, I think I follow.
I love that sequence in The Patriot.
That sounds awful. So listen, the day after tomorrow, and do you see what happens after the world is engulfed?
It blows over.
Does it?
Like any good storm, it blows over.
No, that's you spoilt it.
No, I haven't. I haven't spoiled it, I swear, because there's many more idiocies, many more layers of stupidity. The reaction of the government is fantastic and hilarious.
Yeah.
It's all wrong and yet brilliant. The thing I like about disaster movies, right? Van Helsing, as anyone who's seen it will know, is unwatchably awful. It's got no pacing. It's just like being hit in the face with a baseball bat and shouted at for an hour and a half. Disaster movies have pacing. They've got special effects, then 10 minutes of talking, then another special effect. So even though it's complete rubbish, it actually feels sort of like a proper film.
So, better or worse than...
My voice actually trembled then.
Yeah, I know.
I feel so passionately about this.
Better or worse than Deep Impact?
Better, more money shots. The shot of the tidal wave engulfing New York and toppling the Twin Towers like dominoes is extraordinary in Deep Impact, but there's only about 4 minutes of it.
Better or worse than Independence Day?
Oh, better.
Oh, man, I'm so excited now. That's excellent.
Check. What am I supposed to be saying here?
104.9 XFM.
New music, new bands.
104.9 XFM.
Adam, what am I supposed to be saying here?
XFM.
You know, new music, new bands.
Check.
Yeah,
I'm
cool,
talking.
we're cool.
Talking
Yeah.
in 10, talking in 3. It's a go.
So I've done a deal with my friend Edgar Wright, who directed Spaced and Shaun of the Dead, who's described in today's Guardian Guide. What, Adam, what?
No, go on.
He's described as part of a cult comedy...
Mafia.
No, partnership with Charlotte Hatherley from Ash. I've done a deal with him that if I play Charlotte's new single, which is fantastic, it's called Kim Wilde, it's her first solo single. If I play it on this show, he's going to guarantee me that my diary of being a zombie in Shaun of the Dead will go on the Shaun of the Dead DVD.
Your diary?
Yeah, I made a video diary when I was a zombie on Shaun of the Dead. It might not fit on the Shaun of the Dead DVD, but Edgar says if I play it stands a better chance of getting on there.
Isn't this all highly legal?
Probably. But you know, even if I hadn't done that deal, I would be playing this single because it is really fantastic. It's by Charlotte Hatherley of Ash. It's her first solo single. It's called Kim Wilde. Let's hear it.
You look so good, my honey, to me. Everything I want, everything I need.
Yeah. Who's that then, Adam?
That was Franz Ferdinand.
Oh.
They're hot. They're so hot right now.
So
Franz
hot.
Ferdinand, they're hot. And Take Me Out, you're listening to Adam and Joe on XFM. It's got cloudy. I went to go and check.
Has it?
Yes.
So all this talk about it being an amazing scorching weekend is a load of old rollocks.
It's old rubbish. Maybe it'll clear up again. I don't know. We've got Ditties in the Dock coming up very shortly. But right now we'd like to launch our Adam and Joe Film Club. Joe, would you like to tell us more?
Yes. You know, we should have some sort of background music for this, shouldn't we? But let's face it, we haven't prepared any. Have we got the film 2097 music? Oh, yeah. Okay. Adam and Joe's Bad Film Club. This is very similar to Richard and Judy's and Oprah Winfrey's book club. Oprah, but instead of doing books, we're going to do rubbish films. So, listeners, what we'd like to do is to get as many of you as possible to watch the same film on telly this week. Now, you'll either have to be unemployed or lazy or just, you know, stay up late to see this.
Or in prison.
But tomorrow is the day after tomorrow, Monday the 17th.
Well, the whole world's going to be covered in ice and snow, I thought.
It's true, but, you know, it'll give you something to do while you're huddling by the fire.
Okay.
So this Monday the 17th, at 11:05 in the evening on BBC One, is the Lenny Henry film True Identity. Now, we'd like as many listeners as possible to watch True Identity. Adam and I will be watching True Identity and making notes. And then next week, at the same sort of time, maybe about 2:30, we'll all gather together and discuss True Identity, its positive points and its merits. And by doing it with a different film, we hope to raise the illiteracy level of the country in the same way that Richard and Judy and opera have raised the literacy level.
Yeah, we'd like to make everyone illiterate, at least by the end of the month.
So this week's Adam and Joe Movie Club movie is True Identity, starring Lenny Henry and Frank Langella, at 11:05 this Monday night, Monday the 17th. Do you want a little plot synopsis?
Go on then, quickly.
Henry plays a struggling actor who takes over the identity of a fugitive mob supremo by having an FX PAL transfer.
Brilliant. I'll be watching, and so should you be, and then next week we can discuss it all together.
Hooray.
After the break, Ditties in the Dock.
XFM.
104.9.
104.9. You ready?
104.9 XFM, London.
It's Ditties in the Dock time here on the Adam and Joe Radio Show on XFM. Each week we battle to choose a record to play amongst the tightly playlisted nuggets on the XFM playlist. I think, you know what, I think I'm saying a lot today. Your brother's been complaining that we say too much. I think I'm at fault. But you know what, I don't care. I don't care, David, Buxton,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I know a word ending with that would describe you.
Yeah. Okay, so Joe, do you want to go first this week?
Okay, yes I do. My ditty in the dock this week is by the Blue Tones. I think the Blue Tones are a massively underappreciated and underrated band. They were huge at the beginning of Britpop. Now that Britpop's died, they're the one band that deserved to survive. He's got a beautiful voice, Mark Morris. He's a lovely fella, and this is one of my favourite songs by them. It's called Slight Return.
Sing the song.
By the Blue Tones. Where did you go when things went wrong with you? And la 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 la. That's that. It goes like that, doesn't it?
I
Yeah?
love that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Slight Return by the Blue Tones. That corner is Slight Return. Blue Tones 08712221049.
Okay, so my choice this week is by a group called Matching Mole. And you might be more familiar with the lead singer, who is Robert Wyatt. And he used to be in a band called The Soft Machine, and of course he's released a great deal of stuff as a solo artist. And he's got a kind of very... Do you know who he is, Joe?
Well, I've heard of him. He did a cover of Shipbuilding, didn't he, years and years and years ago?
Yeah, that's right. He's got a very kind of high voice, and he sings in this little kind of high voice, and he's just a wonderful, very English figure, unfortunately confined to a wheelchair after falling out of a window drunk as a skunk when he was in the Soft Machine. But he's still an amazing talent. Anyway, this is a kind of weird nugget.
How does it go, the song that you want to play?
It's called Signed Curtain. This is from 1972, and it's a real, sort of ahead of its time, postmodern, weird bit of rubbish, because it sort of talks about the fact that he hasn't got any lyrics for the song.
Right.
So he just goes, this is the first verse. Yes, this is the first verse. And this is the chorus, and he kind of goes on like that.
I like the sound of it.
And it's genius. It's just a kind of genius song. It makes you think, why does anyone bother writing lyrics at all? You just go, this is the bridge, and then there's a key change and everything.
There's a key change?
Yeah, and this is the key change. It's really good. I'm not doing it justice.
You know what? I think I've heard that before.
Have you really?
Yeah, that does ring a big bell.
It's a real smash, and it's just the kind of thing that you probably wouldn't hear.
Hey, time up, man.
Played on any
Time up,
station,
man.
let alone XFM. So is it going to be Blue Tones or Matching Mole? Blue Tones or Matching Mole? 0871 222 1049.
It's going to be the best of 5 calls, right?
Yeah, best of 5 calls wins it. 0871 222 1049. Blue Tones or Matching Mole? You'll find out after this from D12. That's D12 and Purple Hills. You're listening to Adam and Joe on XFM. Still time to get your vote in for Ditties in the Dock. Is it going to be the Blue Tones with Slight Return, or Robert Wyatt and Matching Mole with Signed Curtains?
Well, that's going to be difficult for people to vote for. You say Blue Tones or Wyatt?
Yeah, Blue Tones or well, Matching Mole.
And
yeah,
listen,
right.
then I think the number is confusing some listeners because we usually get a massive amount of calls. It might be either the Sun or the new number that is holding some of you back from